You're being manipulated right now, and I'll reveal 20 dark psychology tricks used to control your mind. Most remain hidden, but number 20 will disturb you. Watch to the end. Number 1. A single fleeting facial expression can shatter the illusion of a perfectly crafted lie, revealing the true intentions of the deceiver. Microexpressions, a concept introduced by psychologist Paul Ekman, refer to the involuntary facial expressions that flash across a person's face, often in a fraction of a second, when they're attempting to conceal their true emotions. For instance, a person who's just been asked about their involvement in a crime may force a smile, but for a brief moment, a flash of fear or guilt may cross their face, betraying their dishonesty. A skilled observer can pick up on these subtle cues, as seen in police interrogations, where detectives are trained to watch for microexpressions to detect deception. However, what if you're not just dealing with a single person, but an entire crowd, and you need to influence their behavior on a larger scale? This brings us to the next item on our list, but be warned, as we count down to number 20, the most dangerous of all, the very fabric of your reality will begin to unravel. As we transition to the next psychological trick, the question remains, can you handle the truth? Number 2. Emotional contagion, a phenomenon where one person's emotions are transferred to another, spreading like a virus, is a powerful tool in the dark psychology arsenal. Consider a crowded train where a frantic passenger, just having received devastating news, begins to visibly panic, and before long, others around them start to feel anxious, their breathing hastening, their grip on the pole tightening. As the train carriage becomes a petri dish for emotional contagion, the atmosphere shifts, with fear and anxiety spreading from person to person, often without them even realizing it. This subtle yet profound influence can escalate situations or diffuse them, depending on the emotions at play. But as we delve deeper into the shadows of human psychology, we find even more sinister tactics at work. And as we count down, the methods become increasingly insidious, leading us to the final, most dangerous tactic, one that can dismantle a person's very sense of self. Will you be prepared for what's coming, or will you succumb to the darkness that awaits, as we journey towards the ultimate trick, one that's been ominously lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike? Number 3. The power of social proof can be the catalyst for a chain reaction of mass influence, where the actions of a few can dictate the behavior of many. This phenomenon is rooted in our inherent desire to conform to societal norms, often leading us down a path of uncritical acceptance. A striking example can be seen in the context of product reviews and ratings, where a high number of positive testimonials can significantly increase the likelihood of a potential buyer making a purchase, regardless of the product's actual quality. This can lead to a self-reinforcing cycle, where more and more people are swayed by the perceived endorsements of others, ultimately creating a false narrative. People walking in a city following arrows on the ground. A person reading reviews on their phone. A crowd of faceless figures all looking in the same direction. As we delve deeper into these dark psychology tricks, the line between influence and manipulation becomes increasingly blurred, and it's alarming to consider that the most perilous tactic of all may be waiting for us at the end of this journey, with number 20 being the most insidious of them all. A door with the number 20 etched into it. Number 4. The anchoring bias, a cognitive phenomenon that exploits our tendency to rely on the first piece of information we receive when making subsequent decisions, has been a silent manipulator in many spheres of life. Consider a real estate agent showing you two properties, one priced at $1 million and the other at $700,000, after which the latter seems like a steal, even if its actual value is $900,000. This mechanism can lead to financial loss due to poor decision-making. The consequences of anchoring bias are not limited to financial transactions but can also influence our perception of value in various aspects of life. As we navigate through the complexities of human psychology, we find ourselves at the precipice of understanding how our minds can be subtly influenced. But, beware, for the darker aspects of psychology are yet to be unveiled, and the most sinister tactic, number 20, is patiently waiting to reveal its devastating potential. Will you be prepared to face the darkness that lurks within? Number 5. The door-in-the-face technique is a dark psychology tactic that exploits human nature's tendency to reciprocate and feel obligated, by making an outrageous request, only to retreat and make a more reasonable one, making the second request seem like a compromise. A woman stands at a door, asking for a large sum of money. The person declines. She then asks for a smaller amount, which the person agrees to. In a city street, people walk by, oblivious to the manipulation. The woman smiles, having succeeded. In a dark alley, a figure lurks, symbolizing the dangers of this technique. As we explore the darker side of human psychology, we begin to unravel the threads of control, and the door in the face is just the beginning. But beware, for the most sinister tactic is yet to come. The one that will leave you questioning everything, and that is number 20, the most dangerous of all, which we'll get to. But first, let's move on to the next item, leaving you to wonder, what's the true cost of saying yes? Number 6. The foot-in-the-door technique is a dark psychology tactic that exploits human nature's tendency to be consistent in their actions, making it a powerful tool for manipulators. This method involves making an initial, typically small request, which is often granted due to its seemingly harmless nature, thereby establishing a rapport or a precedent. For instance, consider a charity solicitor who begins by asking if you'd be willing to wear a small pin in support of their cause, an act that most would not hesitate to agree to. However, the true intent of the solicitor is to use this initial agreement as a stepping stone to ask for donations later, exploiting the psychological principle that people are more likely to comply with a larger request after having already agreed to a smaller one. This can lead to a snowball effect, where the individual becomes increasingly entrenched in their commitment, even if it leads to actions they might not have initially intended to take. As we delve deeper into the darker corners of human psychology, the lines between persuasion and manipulation begin to blur, and it becomes clear that some techniques can have devastating consequences. But there are even more insidious methods waiting to be uncovered, and the most dangerous of all may be the one we've saved for last, number 20. Will you be prepared for the revelations that are to come? Number 7. Fear appeal is a dark psychological mechanism that exploits human instinct to avoid danger, a potent tool used to influence decisions by instilling fear, as seen in the notorious 1964 Lyndon B. Johnson Daisy political ad, which implied a vote for his opponent would lead to nuclear war, significantly impacting voter perception and behavior, a stark example of fear appeal's power in shaping public opinion, its consequences profound and lasting. And as we delve deeper into these tactics, the manipulation becomes more sinister, leading us to the next item on our list. And as you may have guessed, the most insidious of all is yet to come, waiting for us at number 20. But for now, let's proceed with caution. The darkness only deepens from here. Uncover the shadows within. Subscribe to stay vigilant. Number 8. Scarcity manipulation is a potent tool in the dark psychologist's arsenal, wherein the perception of limited availability is artificially created to influence decision-making. Consider a real estate agent showcasing a property, emphasizing that several other buyers are interested and that the homeowner is eager to sell quickly, thus instilling a sense of urgency in the potential buyer. This manipulation of perception can lead to rash decisions, as the buyer fears missing out on the opportunity. In the real world, this tactic is often seen in sales and marketing, where products are advertised as limited editions or available for a limited time, thereby increasing their appeal. The consequence of such manipulation can be profound, affecting not just purchasing decisions but also personal relationships and career choices. As we delve deeper into these tactics, it becomes clearer how they intertwine with our daily lives. The manipulation of scarcity can have lasting impacts, shaping our desires and fears. And remember, as we count down to the most perilous item, number 20 being potentially the most dangerous of all, the line between influence and control blurs. Will you recognize the manipulation before it's too late? Number 9. Authority bias, where the mere presence of a title or uniform can lead to blind obedience, as seen in the infamous Milgram experiment, where ordinary citizens administered near-lethal electric shocks to strangers simply because a figure in a lab coat instructed them to, resulting in devastating consequences, such as long-lasting psychological trauma for the participants, and a profound impact on our understanding of human behavior, as people conform to the perceived authority, even when it went against their moral code. And this phenomenon is not limited to extreme cases, as it seeps into everyday life, where we often find ourselves acquiescing to those in positions of power, without questioning their motives. And as we continue to delve into the darker aspects of human psychology, we begin to unravel the threads of our own vulnerabilities, and the realization that our free will is not as free as we think. And as we journey through these 20 dark psychology tricks, the stakes will only get higher, but it's not until we reach the very end, where number 20 awaits, the most insidious of them all, that we will confront the darkest aspect of our own psyche. Number 10. The principle of liking and similarity is a potent tool in the dark psychologist's arsenal, where a manipulator uses the fact that people are more inclined to agree with and trust those they like and perceive as similar to themselves. Consider a charismatic salesperson who mirrors your body language, uses your name, and shares a common interest, making you feel an instant rapport, before pitching a product that you may not need but are now more likely to buy due to this fabricated sense of camaraderie. A clever manipulator may even use flattery, highlighting your achievements or tastes to create a bond, which in turn opens you up to their influence. This technique is so effective that it can be seen in various forms of social engineering, from phishing scams to political campaigns. As we delve deeper into these dark psychology tricks, the lines between genuine connection and manipulation become increasingly blurred. But, beware, for the most sinister tactics are yet to come, especially the one reserved for number 20, the darkest of them all. And now, as we transition to the next item, the question remains: what other tools are at the disposal of those who seek to influence and control? Number 11. The principle of commitment and consistency is a psychological phenomenon where individuals feel an overwhelming urge to behave in ways that align with their previous choices and actions, even if it means going against their own self-interest. For instance, imagine a person who has just purchased a brand new car, only to discover soon after that it has a major flaw. Despite this, they will often continue to defend their purchase, insisting that it is still a great vehicle, simply because they do not want to admit to themselves that they made a mistake. This can have severe consequences, such as financial loss or damaged relationships. A person may even go so far as to invest more time, money, or effort into something that is not serving them, just to avoid feeling like they were wrong. As we delve deeper into the darker aspects of human psychology, it becomes clear that our minds are wired to respond to certain stimuli in predictable ways. And speaking of predictable, it's surprising how many people fall prey to these tactics, but the most unsettling one is yet to come, as number 20 will reveal the most dangerous of all. But before we get there, let's proceed with caution, as the next item on our list is just as alarming. Number 12. When freedom is threatened, humans often rebel, a phenomenon known as reactance theory. This psychological mechanism was first introduced by psychologist Jack Brem in 1966, suggesting that when an individual perceives a restriction on their freedom, they experience a motivational state aimed at restoring that freedom. A vivid example is the story of a smoker who, upon being told not to smoke in a particular area, feels an overwhelming urge to smoke precisely because the freedom to do so has been threatened. This urge can lead to actions that are contrary to the individual's own well-being. As the smoker lights a cigarette, they are not only rebelling against the rule but also succumbing to the reactance. The consequences of such actions can be detrimental, leading to harmful behaviors and negative outcomes. This theory can be applied in various contexts, including marketing and social influence, where understanding reactance can help in crafting messages that avoid triggering this motivational state. And as we delve deeper into the darker aspects of human psychology, the lines between influence and manipulation begin to blur, setting the stage for an even more sinister phenomenon, one that awaits us further down the list, where the most dangerous of all, number 20, patiently lies in wait, its presence felt but not yet seen. But for now, let's proceed to the next item, as the shadows of psychological manipulation grow longer. Number 13. Guilt tripping is a tactic so pervasive, it can infiltrate even the most seemingly innocuous interactions, like a friend who consistently calls only when they need something, each request prefaced with a melancholic tone and an unspoken, "You owe me," exploiting the other's empathetic nature to secure compliance, as seen in the story of a mother who incessantly reminds her child of the sacrifices she made, from waking up at dawn to make breakfast to foregoing her own dreams, resulting in the child feeling an overwhelming sense of duty and responsibility, eventually leading to an existential crisis, and as we delve deeper into these dark psychology tricks, it becomes clear that each one is a thread in a complex tapestry, weaving together to form an intricate pattern of manipulation, and as we near the end of our list, the stakes will only grow higher, with number 20 being the most dangerous of all. But for now, let's move on to the next item, which will reveal a tactic so covert, so insidious, it will leave you questioning everything, including the people closest to you, and the true extent of their influence over your life. Number 14. Shaming and blaming, a manipulative technique that exploits our deep-seated fear of social rejection, is a potent tool in the dark psychology arsenal. When an individual is publicly shamed, their brain undergoes a stress response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline, which can lead to feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, and ultimately, submission. Consider a workplace scenario where an employee is berated in front of their colleagues for a minor mistake, the consequence being a loss of confidence and a diminished sense of self-worth. The employee, now hesitant to contribute, becomes increasingly withdrawn, illustrating the destructive power of shaming and blaming. As we navigate the complex landscape of dark psychology, it becomes clear that each tactic is a thread in a larger tapestry, culminating in the most insidious technique of all, one that we'll uncover at the very end of our journey. But for now, let's proceed with caution, as the next item on our list has the potential to unravel the very fabric of our relationships. The most dangerous of all, number 20, will await us at the end of this descent into darkness. Uncover the shadows within, subscribe to stay vigilant. Number 15, manipulating others by playing the victim is a dark psychology trick that preys on empathy. This tactic involves feigning weakness or helplessness to gain control or sympathy from others, often leading to a reversal of roles where the victimizer becomes the victim. Consider a workplace scenario where an employee falsely claims to be bullied by a colleague to deflect attention from their own underperformance, resulting in the colleague being disciplined. The fake victim then gains a reputation as a sympathetic figure, while the actual victim's reputation is tarnished. As this scenario unfolds, the consequences can be devastating, damaging careers and relationships. But the art of manipulation doesn't stop here, for there are even more sinister tactics at play, including the ability to plant seeds of doubt in the minds of others, leaving them questioning what is real and what is not. And as we move closer to the end of our list, remember that the most dangerous tricks are often the ones that seem the most harmless, setting the stage for the ultimate revelation. Number 20 is the most dangerous of all. The darkness deepens, and the truth awaits. Number 16. Love bombing is a manipulative tactic where an individual showers their target with excessive attention and affection, only to withdraw it once they've gained control. This can be seen in the case of a charismatic cult leader who lavishes new recruits with praise and admiration, making them feel like they're part of something special. As time passes, the leader's affection turns into demands for loyalty and obedience, and the recruit is left feeling trapped and isolated. The consequences can be devastating, as the victim becomes desperate to regain the leader's approval, sacrificing their own autonomy and dignity in the process. The manipulator's grip is tightened, and the victim is left to pick up the pieces of their shattered psyche. But what happens when this tactic is used in a more subtle, insidious way, such as in a romantic relationship, where the line between love and control is constantly blurred? As we delve deeper into the world of dark psychology, the tactics will become increasingly sinister, and the stakes will grow higher, but be warned, the most dangerous trick of all is yet to come, and it's waiting for you at number 20. And now, as we move on to the next item, the question remains, what other secrets are lurking in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered? Number 17. Trauma bonding is a toxic phenomenon where two individuals form a strong emotional connection through intense, often painful experiences. This can occur in abusive relationships, where the victim may feel an inexplicable loyalty to their abuser, despite the harm they've suffered. For instance, a hostage may develop a bond with their captor, who provides them with food and shelter, creating a twisted sense of dependency. As a result, the victim may begin to identify with their abuser, adopting their beliefs and values, and even defending their actions to others. This mechanism can have severe consequences, such as the victim returning to the abusive relationship or struggling to form healthy relationships in the future. As we delve deeper into the darker aspects of human behavior, it becomes clear that the most manipulative tactics are often the ones that exploit our deepest psychological vulnerabilities. And as we approach the end of our countdown, it's worth noting that the most dangerous of all may be yet to come, as we'll soon discover in number 20. But for now, let's move on to the next item on our list, where the darkness only deepens. Number 18. Gaslighting techniques are a masterclass in psychological manipulation, where an individual is convinced of a false reality, often to the point of questioning their own sanity. Consider a scenario where a person's partner denies previous agreements, making them doubt their own memory, as seen in the disturbing case of the film Gaslight, where a husband's manipulative tactics drive his wife to the brink of madness. The victim, confused and isolated, becomes dependent on the manipulator for a sense of reality. As the gaslighting intensifies, the victim's self-doubt grows, and their grip on reality begins to slip. The consequences are devastating, leading to a complete breakdown of trust and a loss of autonomy, leaving the victim vulnerable to further exploitation. But as we delve into the darkest corners of human psychology, we begin to realize that the most insidious techniques are yet to come, and number 20, the most feared of all, will reveal the true depths of human depravity. Will you be prepared for the ultimate revelation that will change everything? Number 19. Narcissistic supply is the fuel that feeds the narcissist's ego, a psychological dependence on admiration, attention, and praise from others to maintain their sense of self-importance. Consider a charismatic leader who rises to power through their charm and magnetism, only to exploit their followers for constant validation, as seen in cult leaders like Jim Jones, who manipulated thousands into blind devotion, exemplifying the devastating consequences of unchecked narcissistic supply. This supply can manifest in various forms, such as social media likes, compliments, or even fear and obedience. A narcissist's need for this supply is insatiable, driving them to manipulate and exploit others to feed their ego, as demonstrated by the actions of narcissistic dictators throughout history. As we delve deeper into the darker corners of psychology, we find that the most sinister tactics are often cloaked in charm and charisma. And that brings us to the precipice of the most disturbing aspect of dark psychology yet, but first, let's take a glimpse into the void. The most dangerous of all dark psychology tricks awaits, one that will leave you questioning everything. But be warned, once you see it, there's no turning back. Number 20. Psychopathic manipulation is the most sinister of all dark psychology tricks, where an individual exploits others for personal gain, using charm and deceit to control their victims. Consider the case of Bernard Madoff, who convinced thousands of investors to trust him with their savings, only to embezzle billions, leaving many financially ruined and emotionally scarred. His manipulation was so masterful that his victims remained loyal, even after his scheme was exposed. The consequence was devastating, with some victims losing their life savings, and others taking their own lives. As we delve deeper into the world of dark psychology, it becomes clear that these tactics are not limited to extreme cases like Madoff's. The question remains, what other dark tactics are being used against us, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered, and will we be able to recognize them before it's too late? The threads of manipulation weave a complex tapestry, revealing one unsettling truth: we're all potential pawns in the game of dark psychology. Can you be certain you're not being played? Subscribe for the next exposé, where we'll unveil the countermeasures to shield yourself from these insidious tactics.